Yeah.
The handshake was more the equalizer. We
Right.
are equals. And if we come at this from a physical perspective, if we come out it where we've got our hands meeting like this, we're definitely saying I'm your equal. And this has been one of the arguments in amongst women's groups is how do you shake a hand, and do you shake a woman's hand and not a man's? And then of course you get into other cultures where you're not supposed to do that either. So this is a humanity question. This isn't just a timely one of what are we doing and how are we doing it. I would like to think that we're going to continue to have ways of greeting each other. I would suspect that we're going to come up with things that end up verbally replacing the physical for as long as this goes on. I don't know if the handshake's coming back.
I'm not done with this yet. We're going to keep going on this a little bit further, right? So, I mean, because one of the bits too is that, we shook hands. You talk about women's groups not knowing. And I thought, I was taught when I moved to the South that you did not extend your hand to a woman unless the woman extended her hand first, because and that was some sort of weird. I don't want to say weird. It was a cultural dominance thing or something, and it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you want. I want to be nice, and if this is what you think nice looks like, let us be nice to each other, and I'm okay with that. But the handshake, I've always heard, and this could be nonsense, but it sounds good to me, so we're going to tell the tale again. But the idea of the handshake was that my hand is not on my sword, there's no knife in it, and I am extending to you a gesture of peace when I show you my hand.
Yes.
The great irony of that is that now my hand might be full of deadly germs, and you can't see them, so extending my hand is really an act of aggression now.
Oh, God.
I just love the and Carol throws her hands up in the air.
So it absolutely, I mean, the history is, right, that if I bend my elbow in order to extend my hand, that means there's no sword or weapon hidden up my sleeve, if you will. And so it absolutely was a sign of peace. And you can understand how in the history of time and warriors, that was probably male to male. And then how did the male-female thing all come along as to whether or not it's okay to extend a hand and all of that. And I think that we have figured out at this point that it's just good practice to extend your hand to meet people. And now it seems like it's more an issue of, are you an introvert and therefore massively uncomfortable, or are you crossing a cultural boundary where people don't shake hands? I do think there are germaphobes who do see this as germ warfare, biological warfare, if you will, to put your hand out. And I have to say, and I appreciate the whimsy that's included in that. I also think that this is real. I think that people, the longer we get, the more germaphobes we're growing. And I think that there are people who are going to be like, I'm never shaking a hand again because, I'm either going to love you and know you well enough to hug you, or we're just not touching. So you just get back that little 6 feet and, see you then.
Right.